the only way I can express my feelings is through song.
Welcome to MsMojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 funniest Reba moments.
I'm sorry, Van, but a story like this one has a tendency to be told.
Oh, yeah.
For this list, we'll be looking at all of the best moments from the TV show Reba that left us in stitches. If you think Reba was as hilarious as we do, let us know your favorite moment in the comments. Number 10. Barbra Jean and Reba break into Van's parents' place. Reba is a great mother for Cheyenne and mother-in-law to Van, but as we saw right from the first episode, Van's parents were not quite so nice.
My parents kicked me out. I told them everything, and they said they didn't want anything to do with me or Cheyenne or the baby.
However, by the end of season 2, Van's parents finally decide to get more involved with their granddaughter Elizabeth. They kick off their reunion by buying the baby a pony, and much to Reba's dismay, they want to have Elizabeth stay with them overnight.
What?
Oh, no, that's a great idea. That way Mom won't have to watch her.
Well, I don't have any plans.
No, this is perfect, and maybe you guys can watch Elizabeth sometime so Mrs. H doesn't always have to.
After Reba notices that they forgot to bring her blankie, Barbra Jean helps her scale the wall outside of Van's parents' place. And if that isn't funny enough, Reba gets caught by Van's dad as Barbra Jean flees and leaves her behind.
Who's there? Reba?
Oh, hi, Dan. Could you help me find my Frisbee? I think it flew over into your yard.
Number 9. Van comes home drunk.
Babe, I know it's late, but it's a funny story.
In the later seasons of the show, Van plays arena football, and in this episode, we see Van sign a new contract to play in Denver. To celebrate, he goes out and has a few too many drinks with his friends and comes home late to the wrong bedroom. As he's talking to who he thinks is his wife, he tries to seduce her, even going so far as to bite her, only to realize he's in Reba's room.
You know, baby, you can keep celebrating if you want to.
I have a headache.
Over the course of the series, we see Reba become very close to her goofy son-in-law. But no matter how good their relationship is, this situation was still as awkward as it was hilarious for the duo.
Hello, love of my life.
Hello, tramp. Watch out, that's my man you're talking about.
Number 8. Barbra Jean on tape. The second season of the show focuses a lot on Elizabeth, the newest member of the Hart family. In this episode, the family members decide to make video messages for her and to seal them away in a time capsule. But when their curiosity gets the best of them, they decide to watch all of the tapes right away.
I think you're making a huge mistake.
Said the man who married Barbra Jean.
While Brock's tape contains lies about his relationships, and Cheyenne's tape is slightly insulting to her husband and mom, it's Barbra Jean's tape that stands out as the funniest.
Gosh, last time I was videotaped in the bedroom, I didn't know about it.
Not only does she start out with a wildly inappropriate joke, she goes on and on for what seems like forever while putting on a musical performance for the camera. Number 7. Reba helps Barbra Jean with her wedding dress. Barbra Jean and Brock's wedding day is filled with ups and downs, and despite Reba wanting nothing to do with it, she's the one that keeps the whole day from falling apart. From fixing her daughter's bridesmaid dresses, to convincing Kira to go to the wedding, and finally convincing Barbra Jean not to sprint from the altar, Reba is there to save her ex-husband's big day.
If you hadn't noticed, you and I are very different people. Maybe you're the one that's right for him.
Maybe you're right. I am considerably taller.
But when she inadvertently ends up at the ceremony, she rips BJ's dress. In classic Reba fashion, she's able to mend it right away, but she accidentally stitches it to her pants and ends up following Barbra Jean down the aisle.
It's the ex-wife. Talk about not being able to let go.
Hey, Reba can't fix everything perfectly all the time, can she?
You see, the truth is, I'm attached. In many ways to this wedding.
Number 6. Barbra Jean finds a drum set. In the last season of the series, lots of changes are happening for the characters.
There's one thing that I want for you more than anything else in the world, and that's
Barbra Jean slims down, and Van and Cheyenne buy their own place as they anticipate their new baby. But one of the biggest changes is happening for Kira. Reba is under the impression that she's about to start college until she announces that she intends to pursue her dream of playing music instead.
Come again?
Not going to college?
I just feel like it would be a waste of time. I'd rather focus on my music.
Naturally, Reba is not thrilled with this decision, and she and Barbra Jean confront Kira about it. While Reba and her middle daughter's heart-to-heart conversation is happening, BJ is providing some background music on the drums, despite her best effort to be as quiet as a mouse.
Let's go home.
Number 5. Van gets in the zone. Van is undeniably one of the funniest characters on the show, and when Kira catches him on tape, we get a priceless moment.
Hey, remember the old Vanster, huh? Fast as lightning, agile as a kitty cat.
When Jake asks his brother-in-law for his autograph, Van initially thinks it's because of his football career, but he quickly learns that it's actually because he's recently gone viral on YouTube.
Hi, my name's Van Montgomery. Big money, gotta get in the zone.
As he tries to hype himself up to sell houses, he gets, let's say, creative. As we see him get in the zone, he does everything from checking himself out to dancing to giving himself a pep talk in the mirror, and it's safe to say we're obsessed with seeing Van's self-love moment.
You're gonna make some money off that onion right there, buddy. Houses here, baby. Here we go. You wanna smack it? Go ahead. You wanna smack it? Go ahead.
Number 4. Van tries to stop Reba from drinking. At the end of season 4, we discover that Cheyenne has a drinking problem. To try and help her cope with this, she starts smoking and taking pills that will make her sick if she has any alcohol.
So why are you hiding them from your mom?
Because I don't want her to find out. She's been on my case about everything. She's always snooping around looking for signs of trouble.
Reba finds the pills and thinks they're vitamins, and takes one herself, even after Van tries to convince her not to. Later that night, Reba and Van host a party, and Van does everything in his power to try to keep Reba away from the booze.
Wine's a little corky. Should probably switch to juice.
I'll just have a beer.
I think we're out.
No, there's one right over there.
Excellent beer spottage, Mrs. H. Good eye.
This leads to him having to drink an insane amount of it himself, and all of his efforts are for nothing, as she eventually does take a drink, and let's just say, the pills work.
Wow. This has given us a lot to think about.
Number 3. Kira moves in with Brock and Barbra Jean.
Well, except for goodbye, I guess there's nothing left to say.
Okay, Kira.
In the last episode in this 3-parter, Kira decides to move in with her father and Barbra Jean into their new home, which is just a stone's throw from Reba's house. Kira lives there throughout the years that follow, and she enjoys spending a lot of her time there torturing Barbra Jean, which we get to see for one of the first times in this episode.
I just want to say, you're evil. And you're blonde and Van's a doofus. Did we really need a meeting?
After Barbra Jean unconvincingly tells Brock that she hasn't bought new furniture for the house, Kira tells her stepmother that she threw her Beanie Babies out the window.
Oh, you? Oh, God.
Hey!
To top off this amusing scene, as Barbra Jean tries to rush out the front door to retrieve her stuffed animals, Van and Cheyenne open it and accidentally trap her behind it. Number 2. Van frets over phrasing.
You okay, Ma?
No, I'm surrounded by idiots.
Oh, you don't even know the half of it.
In the final season, we see Kira move back in with Reba, as she wants to spend time with her before she leaves home for good. Much to Reba's surprise, she catches Kira having a beer, and Van and Cheyenne decide to weigh in on how she should handle it. While Cheyenne is trying to explain why Reba should take it easy on her, Van goes off on a tangent of what Cheyenne was like when she was drinking in high school.
The way you freaked about drinking when I was her age almost made me want to do it more.
Oh, I'll say. Oh, you couldn't wait to get out of here on weekends. You were dangerous. Out of control, promiscuous.
After comparing her to a frat boy, he gets a little up in his head about why he would say such a thing, leading to him hilariously trying to double down on his comment.
Does that sound gay? I'm not gay. I meant sorority chick.
Before we unveil our number 1 pick, here are a few honorable mentions. Van's private football lesson. Van gets auctioned off, but his bidder is not who he expects.
So not gay?
Not gay. Oh, well then let's get this football lesson started.
I don't think so. I didn't realize you were using these football lessons to meet men that you're attracted to.
Meeting Barbra Jean. We get to meet step-grandma and mom-to-be BJ for the first time.
Well, I am so glad that we can still be friends. You know, I was afraid that the baby might change the way you feel about me.
No, I feel the same way about you as I always have.
Oh, I just feel like giving you a great big hug.
Fight it.
Van's going to learn to mow. Van has lofty career goals as he and Cheyenne apply for an apartment.
I'm gonna learn to mow.
Learn?
Van shaves his head. Van decides to go bald despite Cheyenne's opposition to it.
I guess there's no way to, comb that over, is there?
Pageant of Grandmas. For the Pageant of Grandmas, Barbra Jean has an impromptu audition.
Gratia de Maria.
Break it down, Mary.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications. Number 1. Barbra Jean teaches Cheyenne to cook.
Oh, that's so sad.
We don't normally see Barbra Jean indulge in alcoholic beverages, but it is clear that even though she's funny when she's sober, she is hilarious after a few drinks. In this scene, she tries to teach Cheyenne to cook while also talking about all of the other people she's taught to cook, including young children and blind people.
Hi, kids. I just picked her right up.
Yet somehow she finds it so difficult to teach Cheyenne that she all but gives up and drinks wine instead. Between mocking her stepdaughter and entertaining Reba with her surprisingly large mouth, this scene had us in stitches from beginning to end.
She did that once when it was full. She did.
Do you agree with our picks? Check out this other recent clip from MsMojo and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.